What's good, YouTube? LTtvCombatSportsTalk, and I'm gonna get straight to it. As you guys know, Pereira and Israel Adesanya have their rematch at UFC 287, happening this Saturday, and they had their fight previous at UFC 281 this past November, where Israel Adesanya was stopped in the 5th round after dominating the first 4 rounds of their fight a few months back. So now, with that being said and known, Adesanya is 0-3 against Pereira, and Adesanya, he's basically saying that he'll walk away if he is unsuccessful this Saturday night. So my question that I have is, could this be the last time we see the last style bender inside the octagon? Now, me personally, I don't think that should be the case, because Adesanya, he still has a few years left in him. I mean, many could say that Pereira has his number, and when you're in the fight game, you're gonna come across an opponent that just has your number, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You can make all the changes you want, you can change up your techniques, you can disguise your attacks a little bit better, but if someone has your number, that's just what it is. And this may be one of those cases. Now, when I watched their fight in November at UFC 281, he started off very slow, and there was moments in the fight where Adesanya had Pereira on his heels, and the fight, it could have been stopped early. However, Pereira, he showed heart and grit, and he was very resilient, and he stayed the course, and he kind of threw a Hail Mary out there and got the stoppage. Now, I'm not saying it was a fluke or anything like that, because it wasn't, but Adesanya, he's a fast starter, but the problem was he just couldn't finish. Once he felt Pereira's power, that pretty much was the end of it. So come UFC 287, I'm kind of wondering what changes will Adesanya make, because for the first 4 rounds of that fight, he had that fight pretty much in the bag. It was just that 5th round where everything kind of just went left. He threw a kick, it was checked, I think he backflipped, and after that, the rest is history. And I think Adesanya will have to be a little bit more poised in this fight, a little bit more calculated, and a bit smarter, and utilize his wrestling, because he did show the wrestling aspect in that first fight at UFC 281. So I think he may capitalize on that as well, because Pereira, he didn't have no answers for it. If you're Pereira, you have to expect the wrestling to come from Adesanya. Now, wrestling is not Adesanya's strong suit. He's a striker just like Pereira is. But if you have 2 great strikers, one of whom is going to utilize the grappling portion just to slow everything down. And Adesanya, he was very smart in utilizing the grappling aspect and kind of held Pereira down and did some solid work on the ground in that fight. It was just when it got on the feet, and Adesanya made that one crucial mistake, and it cost him big time. And I think he regrets that kick every day, because if he had not thrown that kick and Pereira had not checked it, we be talking about Adesanya still being a champ right now. And Pereira, he probably would have been fighting another top opponent to get another crack at Adesanya right now, had that kick not been thrown or checked. So I don't think retirement should be on his mind, because he still has what it takes to be in the UFC and to be a top fighter in the game. But when you start throwing that word retirement around, or you start saying things like I'll walk away, you start putting that in the atmosphere, that usually means that you've mentally checked out, in my honest opinion. But I think that this was kind of a wake-up call for him, that he understands that this is a legacy-defining fight, because if he loses this fight, his legacy will not be the same. And many of his MMA contemporaries are going to look at his resume and legacy different, because the one man who has been his kryptonite turns around within a few fights, becomes the UFC middleweight champ, and dethrones everything that Adesanya has worked for up until that point. That right there would be devastating if you're Israel Adesanya. And I did say in a previous video that I did about this situation before that first fight that Pereira had the psychological advantage because of the fact that they had fought previous, and the last fight was in kickboxing, and Pereira had got the knockout over Adesanya, and he got the finish again just a few months earlier. So that still reigns true. Pereira has the psychological advantage, and he really doesn't have to do much. He doesn't have to do a lot of talking. All he has to do is start better in this fight than he did in their previous fight in UFC 281. If he has a better start early in the fight, and he finishes just like he did in November, we can possibly see Alex Pereira with his hand being raised at the end of the night. But I kind of want to get you guys' thoughts on this. Do you feel that this is Adesanya's last fight? And is it possible that Adesanya can walk out of UFC 287 as the UFC middleweight champ and reign supreme on the middleweight division once again? And do you believe that Adesanya can beat Alex Pereira? Those are my questions to you, the people who may come across this video. I've stated my opinions on this situation. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. And that's going to conclude this video. If you like the majority, hit that like, that sub button, hit that bell, and click also. You never miss any of my videos, and you will see all of my notifications. I'm LTTV Combat Sports Talk. I'm out of here. Peace.